Travis Dermott leaves the game. He's week to week with a shoulder injury, so you add him to the players that are out. And that's the biggest story right now.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to get to the Tavares and him heading back into New York in a moment, but Dermott and Gardner week to week. So you've got Martin Marincin and Justin Hall playing tonight. Like, that is a big drop-off. That's a big hit. So this team's been relatively healthy all year. This is going to be a challenge because they're ramping it up. They're winning games, and they've separated themselves a little bit more from the pack of 4 teams fighting for the wild card spots. And they're a point behind Boston. Boston never loses. So the Leafs don't really have a ton of luxuries here to throw away points. But
I'm with you, man.
It's going to be a
Yesterday
grind.
you said Morgan Riley, you're going out there every other shift.
I think he's going to play a ton. I think he should play a ton.
Yeah.
And he's capable of playing a ton.
Yeah, and he loves it, and he's good at it.
Yep, lean on him. I heard Dave earlier. We were talking last night after the injury had happened. So we were just hanging out in the newsroom. And he did say at the trade deadline, when they were doing winners and losers, his takeaway was the Leafs were losers because they did not add any more depth onto their blue line. You could see it last night. We had a cutaway of Kyle Dubas when Kasperi Kapanen went into the boards. I mean, it's every general manager's worst nightmare right now is the trade deadline has come and gone. This is your lot. This is who you're settled with. Whatever you have at the NHL level and at the minor league level, these are your guys.
Right.
And so thankfully Kapanen was okay, but then Travis Dermott goes down. And now he's week to week, and this Leafs are going to ride and die with these guys. That's the way it works. And hopefully,
you got 6 weeks.
Well,
you got 6 weeks
exactly. After tonight, they're going to have 18 games left.
You got 6 weeks because ultimately, as long as they play a couple of games and they're ready for game 1, that's all that matters.
But Dave made a good point too yesterday. Does it not illustrate though? He said that Winnipeg right now added a couple of depth defensemen at the trade deadline,
they did.
and it bumps when they get everybody healthy. When Morrissey comes back, when Big Dusty Bufflin comes back, Morrow comes back, they're going to have 11D. And he made a very valid point. If you win the Stanley Cup, it's going to take you anywhere between 20, you're playing 4 rounds. You're not going to sweep everyone, say an average of 5. It's going to take you 20, 22 games to win. NHL regular season schedule is 82. You're basically playing, a quarter of the season, and it's at a much more intense grind, and you're playing back-to-back nights, and you're hoping your club's going to be healthy. The Leafs are going to have to get real fortunate the way that their blue line is currently constructed now. But having said that, maybe the kids that they called up, we know what Marincin is.
Well,
we know what he
Marincin is not. But you got to remember here, it's such an empty take. Like, well, you should have gone out there and grabbed more depth. Like, well, who? Who are we? What, the 7th defenseman on a bad team?
No,
I agree.
And you got to remember, assets are important.
No,
I will say this: watching the game last night
assets.
in Edmonton is so bad, but I never said, "Man, they need Jake Gardner back in there." But it's because Edmonton's so bad. I never said that.
Yeah, I think eventually you will. There will come a time when Gardner and Dermott, their absence becomes notable and noticed. But Dubas has been bullish all year, on the depth, on Hall. There's a reason Hall is still here.
For sure. That's what I said.
Still here.
Marincin.
I think eventually when Calle Rosen, he's got a foot injury right now, when he gets healthy, I think they're going to give him a crack. And they just gave him an extension about a month ago. They have some sort of belief in him.
Yeah, I disagree with you on the D. I don't think you can never have enough. Like Winnipeg getting Nathan Beaulieu, which was a good example. It doesn't really cost them much.
But
I understand.
11, though? That's the thing, Dutch. Like 11 defensemen, what is that going to do for you?
No, just wait and see what happens
you can only
in
play
the postseason.
6.
No, 100%.
Yeah.
It's just basically you're covering your bases. And if it only costs you like a 3rd or a 4th round pick.
Well, but that's, again...
You say listen,
that,
these guys aren't going to be your
go out
starting
in the first
6.
round anyway, and then you're at the draft and you go, they traded that for that?
Yeah.
Guy that didn't even play, you just threw away these picks?
I like insurance, man.
Yeah, but
I like a little insurance.
You can never truly predict, and they're in the position they're in. It's a moot point now because the deadline's passed. So the Leafs have what they have.